holding tight, praying hard through every fight. Got no wins, but I got pride. Made it through the other side. Yellow flags like warning signs, but I ain't falling for their lines. Got nerves of steel, a shaky hand. This ain't a game, it's fight or land. Saw that 18 catch the wall, 21 spun, took out them all. But somehow I found the lane, like Moses through that fire and rain. Yeah, I thread the needle, dodge the flame. Every pilot calling my name. Wrecks behind me, wrecks ahead, but I ain't wrecked, I ain't dead. Sliding sideways, holding tight, praying hard through every fight. Got no wins, but I got pride. Made it through the other side. No checkered flag, no champagne rain, but I kept it clean through the carnage and pain. One more lap, one more breath, a dance with danger, a race with death. Still I thread the needle, feel the flame. Every turn's a twist of fate's game. Wrecks behind me, wrecks ahead, but I ain't wrecked, I ain't dead. Sliding sideways, holding tight out of chaos into light. No first place, but man, I ride with fire still burning inside. Yeah, I thread the needle in this wild racing ride. Strapped in tight, green lights flashing, rubbers burning, hearts are clashing, tires screaming that southern heat. 200 strong on the NASCAR beat. Lap 5 wreck on turn 4. Smoke so thick can't see the door. Somehow I slip right through like a ghost in red, white, and blue. 'Cause I thread the needle, dodge the flame. Every pilot calling my name. Wrecks behind me, wrecks ahead, but I ain't wrecked, I ain't dead. Sliding sideways, holding tight, praying hard through every fight. Got no wins, but I got pride. Made it through the other side. Yellow flags like warning signs, but I ain't falling for their lines. Got nerves of steel, a shaky hand. This ain't a game, it's fight or land. Saw that 18 catch the wall, 21 spun, took out them all. But somehow I found the lane, like Moses through that fire and rain. Yeah, I thread the needle, dodge the flame. Every pilot calling my name. Wrecks behind me, wrecks ahead, but I ain't wrecked, I ain't dead. Sliding sideways, holding tight, praying hard through every fight. Got no wins, but I got pride. Made it through the other side. No checkered flag.
All right, I hope you are as amped up tonight as I am, folks. Here we go. Here we go. Yet another race here at USRA. We are coming to you without rain, without fog tonight. We are in the daylight. Thursday night racing, USRA in the GT3 series. We're bringing you Indy. And here we go, folks, as these drivers are taking the field. And it does look like, let's see if we can reload this overlay so that you can see the towers. And we're going to try it one more time because it does look like, let's see if we can hide this because I want to show you some timing towers and we're going to need that throughout tonight. And it does look like we are not able to do that. Hang on just a second, folks. We are going to try to see if we can bring this to you. So let's see if we can do it this way. There you go. So there is our action. Top left-hand corner, you can see qualifying going on tonight. And here we go with another fantastic race. Let's see if we can go ahead and give ourselves a points update. So we're going to hide this timing tower because we're going to show those results here in just a second. All right, let's bring up your points. Now, we are through. This is going to be round 5 here. So we do have 2 series here. For those of you that are tuning in that have not watched us before here at USRA, we have 2 series. We got that Pro Series. We have the AM Series. Both of these series are out here in GT3 cars. We've got Ernie Francis Jr. that is still holding the lead here, 1473. Pretty sizable lead there over Michael Hickman. Now, Hickman, if you all do not know, has shown a ton of speed here, has been bit by a couple of bad, omens, if you will, on some of these races. So I do look for that driver to be fast tonight. Christian Proctor is a driver that has switched from that AM division, slid over here to this Pro division. He is 3rd in points. Jeff Prochowski, which was a stalwart of speed last season, he's going to be in the 4th position. Wade Moskowitz is going to round out your top 5. Now, if we go over here to the AM Series, Aikman has led this thing from the very beginning. He is in your first place, 1,410 points there. Mark Samancic is going to be second, 1,345. A fantastic run by Mark last week, finally getting past and breaking into that winner's circle as we had a conversation with him last week. If you did not see that, you need to go back and check that one out. Zachary Garrison is going to be third at 1,206. Rory 4th in 1129, and then Tyler Crawford is going to round out your top 5. So those are going to be the points in both the Pro division and the AM division. We already have people out there in the chat saying, let's go Ben Lawrence from Mr. Pena. So we will keep an eye on him tonight, and we will let you know how that is going. As always, this schedule popping up here. We are at Indy tonight. But after that, we have a driver's choice race, and then we are going to go, as you can see on the schedule there, we have several other races to go. I would assume we are halfway through. At the end of tonight, we're going to be halfway through this season, this inaugural season here at USRA. So I hope you all are excited to have a fantastic result. Now, it does look like we are still practicing. We've got just a few minutes, about 29 seconds until we are going live, and we are going to see, if you'll give me just a second, folks, we're going to try to reload this. You're going to see just a little bit that's going to go on your screen as we're going to try to reload this SDK. And if we can do that, it does look like that is not going to happen. So unfortunately, you're going to see that not found there at the top left-hand corner of your screen. So I do apologize about that, but this thing seems to have a mind of its own at some point. So there you go. We are done with those results. Let's see if we can back this intro down just a little bit, because we're going to talk about where we are here in the qualifying results. So let's go over to your Pro division, and we're going to pop that up right here. So you've got 8 drivers out here in the Pro division. Ernie Francis Jr. is going to pick up that pole again at a 124.3. Michael Hickman is going to be in second. Ben Lawrence is going to be third. Christian Proctor picking up that 4th spot in qualifying. Jeff Prochowski, Miles Gilsinger, Trevor O'Neill, and Kurt Basler. Now, do not forget, folks, that just because this is their qualifying order does not necessarily mean where they are going to start on the track, as they are going to be filtered in by these gentlemen right here in the AM division. Zachary Garrison is going to pick up your pole position in the AM. Mark Samancic is going to be second. Aikman third. Carson in 4th. Angel is going to be in 5th. Dakota in 6th. Rory is in 7th. And Jonathan Marsh is going to pick up your 8th position as a no time, but he will be starting anchor on this field there in the AM division. So as you have it, that is where we are going to go. Let's see if we can get a hold of some of these drivers down here on pit, or actually out here on the track, as we're going to get fired up to go. We're going to show you a timing tower at the top left-hand corner, as we always do. We're going to show you another battle box on the bottom right-hand corner. So when we highlight a driver, as we are doing for Ben Lawrence right now, let's see if we can click over here on Ernie. So you can see he is going to be highlighted in green. That is the driver we're going to be focused on. And then you're going to see on the bottom right-hand corner, that is the battle for that pro division. You will see those drivers in front and behind on distance. On the left-hand side, you're going to see the current rankings here in the pro division and the AM division as we get ready for this race. So appreciate everyone tuning in. I hope I have set this field for you very well here at round 5 at Indy. This is going to be exciting one. Indy is one of those tracks I feel like you've got some drafting opportunities down some of these straightaways, especially the long front stretch straightaway. And then you're going to have some heavy braking zones. A lot of skill here at Indy. A lot of drivers like it. So we're going to see how they are going to attack this track. As Ernie Francis Jr., as we set this thing, has been one of your stronger drivers this year. He has dominated quite a few of these races. He is back out here on the pole position in this race. So going to be very interested to see what Ernie is going to be able to do. Michael Hickman, again, like we talked about before, has shown a ton of speed, has just been bit by bad luck throughout this season. Hopefully the second half of this season, he's going to be able to turn that around and really give Ernie a run for his money, as I think we are going to be really quick here to the green. We're going to have a short parade lap. This pace car is going to take a right-hand, a left-hander, and then we're going to be on that front stretch ready to go. As you can see, Ernie getting ready to bring these drivers down to green. Barry Lawrence in there saying, let's go, Ben. So we've got some Ben fans here early on. Ben is going to start in that third position. Appreciate you all tuning in here and giving us some love out there on YouTube. Certainly appreciate that. As you can see, now that pace car is down, and we are going to get ready to go. Ernie Francis Jr. on the right-hand side, and this is a green flag in the air. Michael Hickman with a very decent start. Now, Ben Lawrence is going to be right beside of Hickman as we're going to get ready to go down this right-hand side. You can see 2, 3, 4 wide. Ben Lawrence is going to shoot down to the bottom, not able to get that move done. Ernie Francis is going to retain that lead. Christian Proctor looking to the outside. Oh, and we have a crash. Trevor O'Neill involved in that crash. We're going to go back and take a look at that here in just a second. Let's go back and see what happened. O'Neill in this Mustang here on the left-hand side is going to get up on that curb. He is okay. Oh, he's just going to loop it around on that curb. It doesn't look like he's going to have any damage. So we're going to get right back up here to live action. Ernie Francis Jr. is going to take that lead. He's about 4/10 ahead of Hickman. Right behind him, Ben Lawrence, Christian Proctor in fourth. Miles Gilsinger is going to be in fifth. So all 5 of those drivers are going to be your pro division drivers. And now it does look like Miles might be going. Where is Miles going? He has a major crash. What has happened to Miles? Flashing the lights there. Did something happen to his wheel? And it just looks like his wheel just went blank and shut off. Oh, right in front of a couple of drivers. Angel's going to get into that. It looks like Rory's going to get into that. Oh, my goodness. What a start to this race. And we are going to have it looks like a caution is going to come out to reset this field, folks. Man, just all kinds of stuff going on. Miles, it looks like, has disconnected. Something has happened to his wheel. I can't tell you, for those folks that are a fan of iRacing and you are on iRacing, you know, we just have that large update that went on Monday and Tuesday. It was about a 30 gig to a 35 gig update, and there has been a lot of changes. Namely, those drivers that use Moses have had some issues with their force feedback in those wheels and creating some issues. I don't know if that was Miles' issue, but it certainly looked like something happened there with him that created that accident. So we'll go back and just take one more look at it and see what happened to Miles. Yeah, so this is after he has wrecked. So we're going to see if we could just roll this thing back in real time, and it doesn't look like he has any control over this car. So he's going to get down in this turn, and then all of a sudden, something just happens to him here. Bam, slams right in that retaining wall, comes right back up, and is going to catch quite a few drivers involved in that. So not certain what has happened, as we're going to reset this thing. You can still see those lights on that car. That pace car is on, so we're going to continue to go around this track. I do believe he's going to shut those off. We'll have one to go here, as we can have all of these drivers go down, take that fast repair, reset this thing, as all of these drivers will get a fast repair. So they're going to be able to reset, recalibrate what's going on. Let's go back, and it does look like Miles is going to be out on the track. There he is, folks. He has had that fast repair completed. So whatever happened to him, what happened to his wheel, this PC, it looks like that has been repaired. He is back out on the track trying to catch up to the field now. All right, so we've got some drivers. Angel, we saw Angel with some damage a little bit earlier as he got into that when Miles blinked out, what we were going to call a blink out. It looks like he's going to come down and try to get some repairs done as well. You can see he's going to slide right on in. Pretty heavy front end damage on that car. Let's see if it looks like he's just going to try to get this repaired. He's going to save that fast repair to a little bit later on in this race. He's got plenty of time because we are all under caution. I just want to see if, and you can see now, he has dropped down from changing those tires. Now, if you're going to see some damage being repaired, this is when it's going to happen for you here. Well, I don't see a whole lot of damage being repaired on this, but we'll just take a look and see if they're going to straighten this hood out for Angel. All right, let's see if we can go back up here to the front of this field. Ernie Francis Jr. still leading this race overall, as we're going to reset this field for you. Pro drivers Ernie, Hickman, Lawrence, Christian Proctor, and Jeff Perchowski is going to be your top 5. O'Neill, Basler, and Gilsinger are going to be 6th through 8th. In the AM division, Pollard is leading this thing right now. Rory is going to be in 2nd. Dakota 3rd. Samancic is going to be in 4th. Roland in 5th, and Garrison in 6th. Angel and Jonathan Marsh are going to round out your top 8. So I want to go back here and take a look at Angel. Yet it does look like, as you can see, folks, that hood is back down on this vet. So he did get a lot of repairs completed on this car under caution. My goodness, what a wreck that happened really early on. Again, as we go back, Miles having that issue, not sure what it was, wheelbase going out, something happened to Miles, created that big accident there. All right, folks, as always, appreciate everyone tuning in. If you have a driver you want us to highlight, if you just throw their name out there in chat, we will make sure that we hop on board with them, spend a little bit of time with them. I know we've got a ton of fans for a lot of drivers out here. We want to make sure that we get some visibility to those drivers. So if you have one of those, make sure that you throw it out there in chat. We will ride on board with them, have a little conversation about those drivers as we are here in Season 1, USRA. Jeff Prochowski there on the inside retaining wall. Just looks like he's trying to avoid a lot of those drivers that are swerving back and forth. Let's see if we can go on board with Jeff, see what he sees here. Right in front of him, it looks like Hickman, and you got Lawrence directly in front of him. Proctor's up there to the top left in that Scooby-Doo machine. Lights are now out on that pace car. Jeff trying to warm those front tires up. I can tell you with this update, we haven't heard a ton about the GT3 cars, but we're going to find out a lot about them tonight. You know, when this update come through, I can tell you that on the oval side, the next gen had a tremendously large update. So going to be interesting to see how those drivers handle that. I do know this GT3 had quite the update. Be very interested to see what these drivers think about this, as, you know, really the feedback that everybody's been getting here on iRacing is this thing is a lot closer to what the in real life drivers feel in these GT3 cars. So hey, Nathan, appreciate you joining. Jonathan Marsh is already in chat. Jonathan, first time driver out here in chat. Jonathan, good to have you on board. Nathan, hope you had a good race, my friend. All right, folks, you can see that those lights are out there on the pace car. It does look like Ernie Francis Jr. is going to bring them down one more time here. 9.5 minutes gone in this 65-minute race already. Altman in the chat saying, let's go 25. That is Aikman Pollard. Aikman, your leader in that AM division, not only in points there, Robert, but also in this race right now. So we will keep an eye on him as we go through this race. As you can see now, this pace car, we're going to have that right-hander, this Indy track, a pretty substantial speed turn right here, as they're going to be turning just a little right under full throttle. Then they're going to come to a really sharp right-hander here, another left-hander there, and then we're going to be back onto that front stretch. And that front stretch is going to be key, because if you can get a good run through this sweeping right-hander, you're going to be able to use that draft to your ability and be able to get a good braking zone on the right-hand side of that driver. As now you can see Ernie Francis Jr., that pace car is off. He is going to bring these drivers back here to the green flag at Indy. Major connection issues for one of these drivers is now we're going to go green as the green flag is in the air. Lots of movement already in the back of this field. Oh, and he gets turned. Michael Hickman get turned quickly. He's going to get into Ernie Francis. Ernie is not going to have a ton of damage. Michael Hickman is going to have some front end damage. That is going to give the lead over here to Ben Lawrence. My goodness. Caution is going to come out yet again. Let's see if we can back this thing all the way up. We're going to hop on board with Ben Lawrence. We're going to follow him back around. But really, let's see what happens here. It looks like, oh, it does. It looks like Proctor had a really good run. We're going to go back into Proctor's cockpit. It looks like he had such a good start. And here he goes. He is on the outside, and he is just going to clip. Oh, the braking zone just different between Hickman and Proctor. That is going to turn Hickman to the right. He is going to get into pretty heavy damage. You can see that left rear wheel of Ernie Francis just turned inward. Man, that is going to bring this thing back live. My goodness, Ben Lawrence is now going to be your leader here. All kinds of accidents going on. It does look like we show Ernie with another crash as he was trying to catch up to this field. You can see that left rear tire just turn inward. Oh, he just cannot get this car to go around. Doesn't look like a lot of damage. If he can go in, he is going to have to get that fast repair done. You might not see a lot of body damage on that car, but that suspension damage is just as much of a time suck as the body damage is. So he is going to have to get this thing back down pit road, get that fast repair done. Another caution coming out here. This is a first of the USRA series, several cautions early, and this is going to be track wide. That pace car back out, allowing these drivers to come down and get these repairs done. Ernie Francis is going to come down. He is going to have to use that fast repair. I could not imagine. Let's see Ernie. Again, he has not made it back yet. That left rear wheel just turned inward. Yeah, Christina there in chat saying, go Ernie, go Zach. So Ernie did not have a great start there, as it looked like Christian Proctor just under heavy braking, just missed that braking zone with Hickman, turning Hickman right into Ernie. Ernie with some heavy left rear damage, and it looks like the bug is going to bite Hickman again. We'll go back and take a look at Michael Hickman to see if he wants to come down pit road, get that fast repair completed. Man, what a huge change of events that has happened already. We are 15 minutes into this race, folks, and we are only on lap 6. Several cautions early on. And you said Zach there, Christina, in the chat. I would assume that is Zach Garrison. He is up to 5th now in that AM division. Aikman Pollard went from 1st on that start to 7th. So he lost quite a few positions having to check up for all of that. But that's going to put Dakota Howard in that 1st spot there in the AM division with Carson Rowland and Angel Rodriguez in 3rd. Ben Lawrence and Christian Proctor, Michael Hickman are going to be your top 3. It does look like Hickman is going to stay out. You can see Proctor with some pretty heavy front end damage himself. Christina said, my boys. All right, I understand. Yeah, Robert, there was, Robert said a lot going on that restart. There was a lot going on. So, and you know, especially here, you're going to want to be aggressive early on. Get the most out of these restarts. When you stagger these starts up and they're side by side, you want to get the most out of it. That's what happened to these drivers. But, you know, get a little overzealous, change the braking zone from the driver in front of you, and then all of a sudden, that's all it takes. And if you get something, you know, early on in these races, early on in these cautions, that first turn, you get something up front happening, it's going to just stall out the entire field behind you, and you're going to have a lot of accidents. So that is what happens, as you can see now. The lights are out on this pace car. We are going to go back green this lap. Ben Lawrence is going to bring them down from the pro division. Dakota Howard is going to be your leader there in the AM division. Christian Proctor stayed out. Hickman stayed out. You're going to see Ernie Francis Jr. is going to get those repairs completed. He's going to be out, but in 7th spot there in the pro division. So look for him to start working his way back out and back up this field. As you can see him now, he's catching up to the back end of this field. Nathan, I did see Lockett winning their race there in at Pocono, so congratulations to that driver. All right, so here we go. Let's reset this thing. As you can see, top left-hand corner, that is going to be your timing tower. Both the pro and the AM divisions We have had some drama early on in this race here at Indy. This is round 5 of your USRA series out of 10 races that we have. Your leader in points, Ernie Francis Jr., getting into an accident there, that last green flag run. He is going to be back in 7th position. Aikman Pollard is now sitting in 7th in the AM division. He is your leader in points for that AM division. Yeah, that is good, Zach. Happy to hear that that you got that win. Congratulations. All right, so here we go. Ben Lawrence is going to bring these drivers down. Ben showing a lot of speed throughout these races. It does look like he is going to have that first position. We've got some Ben Lawrence fans out there in chat too. This BMW, the only BMW here on the field, we're going to go green now. So let's just watch and see if there's any drama in turn 1 this time. As you can see, starting to fan out. Miles back on track. A little deep dive there by Hickman. Not able to get it done. Perchowski is on the outside. Aikman Pollard shows that he's... Oh, and Ben Lawrence is going to get loose. And he is going to loop that car around. Let's go back and catch this up now. Aikman Pollard has wrecked. He is in that Mustang, that red, white, and blue Mustang there in the center. He's going to be 3 wide into this turn. And it looks like he just stopped barely touching that Porsche and is going to send that Porsche around. But let's go back and take a look. Let's see what happened to Kurt. Kurt is the one that got touched by Aikman. He spun around. But what happened to Ben? Ben with a pretty solid run. He's on the right-hand side. He's in a great position. Oh, and that car just looped around on him. Under acceleration, looped around. Everybody was able to stay clear. What happened to Angel? Angel, he's in the Marlboro car. Pretty deep dive right there through the S's, and he's going to get up on the curb, loop that car around. Oh, he's going to back it right into the tire barrier. Heavy damage on the back end of Angel's car. Mark Szymanczyk with a wreck. Mark Szymanczyk done the same thing that Angel did. Will he back it in? No, he is going to save that car. Zachary Garrison. Zachary in the chat. We got fans in the chat. He has wrecked. Oh, he's going to back that in hard, hard. Right rear damage on that Porsche. He's going to have to wait for everybody to leave. Let's see if that tire is going to be turned in on. And Mark Szymanczyk now going by. Oh, it's not even moving, folks. And you can see that is the pit road right there. He's going to have to take that down pit road. My goodness, the wrecks are just fast and furious right now. So let's see if we can reset this for you, folks. That pro division, Christian Proctor is your leader. Michael Hickman is right behind him. Miles, who had that earlier wreck, is back in 3rd on that AM division. Dakota Howard is in 1st, Carson Rowland in 2nd, and Aikman Pollard is going to be your 3rd place driver there in the AM division. As we try to take a breath here, and reset all of this. I will tell you, it's going to be interesting to hear these drivers 21 minutes in here to this 65-minute race. Going to be interesting to see what they tell us in these interviews to see how different these GT3 cars are, because it looks like they are a handful right now at this Indy Speedway. Jonathan saying that new tire model is dishing out learning experiences. I agree with you. I do think that, it looks like, Jonathan, if you push this thing outside of the limits of that model, it just wants to loop them around without any warning at all. Christian Proctor right there, Hickman right behind him. We're going to go on board with Hickman. Let's see if we can take a look at this driver and see what he is able to view out of his front windshield. Right behind this Scooby-Doo machine here of Christian Proctor. As you can see, he is only 3/10. Oh, and just able to drive that car right into those turns a whole lot harder than Christian is able to. Now, Hickman starting to put a ton of pressure on Proctor. Again, if he can be a little closer, he's a bit pushy. As you can see, he's giving a little bit more right-hand wheel into that car, but that thing's trying to push out to that outside retaining wall. Not able to get the run off of that turn that he needs to really draft by Christian. Now getting this turn, he's rolling the center really well. Looks like Christian is getting in a little hot, not allowing him to roll the center as well as Hickman is able to. Man, this battle is going to continue to wage on. We're going to go back here and take a look. Ben Lawrence trying to rebound from that spin. He is all over the back end of Trevor O'Neill. He's going to take a little look to the right-hand side, or at least show right-hand side. Trevor looks like he's going to block him. This is Mustang on BMW fight. Ben Lawrence trying to all over the back end now of Trevor O'Neill, trying to get around him. Ben having to be careful. As you can see, the right-hand tires all over the inside of that curb. That is a slowdown area on Indy. So if Ben gets just a little bit too wide there, he's going to get a slowdown. Oh, Trevor's going to have to double grip that brake. He's going to be able to control the inside, the right-hand side of this turn, but Ben is going to have a ton of momentum. He's going to easily get around Trevor O'Neill, and he's going to take over that 6th spot. Aikman Pollard looking underneath of Carson. He's going to tuck right back in line. Now Carson is going to be right behind Kurt. Carson is going to be your 2nd place driver in the AM division. Kurt is your 8th place driver in the Pro division. You can see Aikman has shown a lot of speed so far this year, folks. He is now up to 3rd place in that AM division. He is your leader in points. Looks like Carson really drove it in there. That's going to open the door to Aikman, and he's going to give up that spot to Aikman, really overdriving the entry to that hard, sharp left-hander that allowed Aikman to get around to the outside. So Carson is going to fall back a spot. That's going to put Aikman up to 2nd position there in your AM division. And we're going to go right back up here to this battle for the lead. This is your lead overall and your lead there in the Pro division. It does look like Hickman was able to get a really good run off, but you can see that front end damage by both of those drivers might be hurting them a little bit. Aikman now, Hickman is going to look to the right-hand side. Christian is going to defend really well. They're going to almost touch there through the turn. It looks like Hickman's going to back off just a second. That is going to allow Miles to get right up to the back end of Hickman. But don't look now, folks. Ernie Francis Jr., who started back in 7th, had to get that repair done. He is right behind these drivers here in 4th spot. Jeff Perchowski back there in 5th in that vet. Hickman knows he's going to have to find a way around Ernie back there behind Miles. You have a 1st, 2nd, 3rd, 4th train coming out here onto this really what would be the backstretch in Indy. Now it does look like Ernie's going to dive down, try to get around Miles. He's not able to make that pass, so he's going to fall back in line. Hickman with a good run here. If he can stay close, Christian is so good on the exit of that last turn, getting out just in front of Hickman. Man, same spot, trying to get this pass done. He's going to be able to hang on to the right-hand side. Oh, he's going to get just a little loose. That's going to open the door to Miles. Now, there is a right-hand turn here. I do think that Hickman, not only is he going to defend that position, now we're going to go 3 wide here for the lead. Everybody thinks a little bit better of it. My goodness, we have a 1, 2, 3, 4 fight. Now Ernie Francis Jr. going to look to the left-hand side of Miles. Not going to happen. Now he's going to go to the right-hand side. Defensive line by Miles. He is stuck in behind of Hickman. Now Ernie's going to get that pass done. Miles with a little bit of a blinking issue. I do believe Miles got stuck behind Hickman there. That has allowed Ernie to take the outside. What a power move in this Porsche Ernie made there on Miles. We do have some other drivers that show a crash, but we have to stick where the battles are, and they are right here up front. Christian Proctor is your leader there in that pro division, but man, he is fighting off a hornet's nest of drivers wanting to get around him. Ernie Francis Jr. is on a mad, furious march back forward from that earlier incident. Now Hickman again is going to look to the right-hand side. He's going to dive in there just a little late. He's going to stay behind Christian this time. Christian just making this car as wide as he can. I want to make some Scooby-Doo reference, but I just can't do it. Another pretty large drafting zone. Now it does look like Hickman, not only is he going to take more of a defensive line, but this is where Miles got passed by Ernie last time, and he's going to do it again. He is going to get to the right-hand side of Hickman. Now Ernie put him up to second position, folks, from 7th spot when that green flag dropped. Now he's back up to second position. This is a man on a mission. Now another battle is going to ensue. Christian Proctor now has Ernie Francis Jr. behind him, and he is poking around for another spot. He is trying to find his way around. He is all over the back end of this driver. He's going to pull out early. Hickman is going to follow Proctor. No, now he's going to change that, and he's not going to follow Ernie either. He's thinking 3 wide here. Coming down into turn 1, 3 wide, GT3 Series USRA, and here we are. Ernie is going to have to back out. Now Miles is going to take that spot from Ernie. He's on the right-hand side. He does not get loose like the other drivers were. Now he's going to have this right-hander, and this is going to push Ernie from 2nd spot all the way back to 4th. Ernie's going to fight back, get those S's done early, push Miles back to 4th, but now Jeff Prochowski's in this fight. Hickman now in the lead. Proctor right behind him. Ernie in 3rd. Wow. I mean, as you can see, Ernie Francis Jr. overshooting turn 1. That is going to allow Christian to get back by Ernie. Now he's going to set his sight on Hickman. I have a feeling Hickman has a ton of speed. So him with this clean air, even with that damage on the front end, able to drive away a little bit as Ernie is fighting these drivers to get himself by. What a fantastic battle that we have here, folks. There are other close battles out here on the track, but Christian Proctor holding Ernie back just a little bit. That's allowed Hickman to get away. Hickman really smooth on that throttle. Now Ernie starting to put more pressure back on Proctor once again. Christian holding strong there in the second position. He has damage of his own there on the front end of that car. Christina saying, this looks so real. Man, I can tell you this, inside of those cars and inside of these sim rigs, that feels real to these drivers as well. Oh, Ernie is going to get just a little loose on the outside, get those right side tires off in the grass. That's going to put him behind. Man, this driver now that was just tearing through this field, now having some difficulty getting by Christian Proctor right now. He is staying very, very patient, but you can see Hickman starting to sneak out. Proctor's right there. Francis is there. Miles is there. Jeff Perchowski right behind him. Ben Lawrence isn't too far behind these drivers either. We saw Ben with a wreck a little bit earlier on. Ernie is keeping the throttle down. He is keeping the pressure on Christian Proctor. Now he's going to look to the right-hand side. Proctor with a little bobble. Ernie trying to do an undercut. Couple of drivers, it looks like, going down pit road, and that is going to be Miles and Perchowski. Now, oh, this is going to be an easy pass, I do believe, here for Ernie, as he's going to get that draft. He's going to try to side draft a little bit, suck Christian Proctor back to him, and he is going to make this pass going into turn one and get crossed over again. This happened the last time that Ernie tried to make this pass. Christian just in a defensive race right now, giving Ernie all kinds of fits. As you can see now, Ernie's going to pull out again. He is going to try to outbrake Christian. He is finally going to get that pass done. You saw it there inside the cockpit. He is going to get that done. Now put Ernie up. Oh, he's got to be really careful. He did not get a slowdown there, but man, he was really on the edge of that. Now with Hickman out front, let's see what can happen. Can this driver, Ernie Francis Jr., trying to make a comeback? Can he track Hickman down? Hickman with so much speed all the way throughout this series and early on in this season. Can he hang on and get the best finish of this season for him? Now, Mark Szymanczyk is starting to put pressure all over the back end of Carson Rowland. Now, this is going to be for second position here in this AM division. Aikman Pollard has taken over first. He is about 3 seconds ahead. You can see him on this front stretch in front of these three Porsches. Now, Rowland with a really good front stretch there. Sneaking right up to the back end of Kurt. Again, this is for second and third position in your AM division. Kurt is going to be fifth in the Pro division. That is the driver in the blue and white Porsche right in front of this all blue Porsche. Oh, we show a crash by Miles. Miles went into the pits. What happened to Miles here? Jeff Perchowski right behind him. This is going to be a fresh tire incident, and there it is. Just, oh, and Jeff just barely misses him. Miles is going to be able to get this thing back rolling, but that is exactly where Ben spun out a little bit earlier. So this tire model, this new tire model on this update has really shown some difficulty for these drivers. Now back up here to this battle. Carson putting more and more pressure on the back end of Kurt. while Mark Szymanczyk is right behind those drivers. Now, what was a 3.1 second lead for Aikman Pollard, now only a 2.6 second lead, 2.5 seconds now back to this driver here in second in that all blue Porsche. All right, folks, we are now 38 minutes into this 65-minute race. We have 3 Porsches that are battling for their spot here on the track. Kurt, in your Pro Division, is 5th. These other 2 drivers are 2nd and 3rd in the AM Division, fighting with each other. Carson's showing a lot of speed, especially under braking. You can really see where this all-blue Porsche is starting to gain on Kurt. He's got this thing really nailed down under braking. Looks like Kurt's a little bit better in these high-speed corners, but, man, Carson is really putting a ton of pressure on him. You can see, really, Kurt is getting off of the X's of these turns a lot better, and he's able to get his gap up where Carson cannot get that draft, get beside of him coming down this front stretch. And that's going to slide him back just a little bit more to Mark Szymanczyk. Jonathan saying that curb coming out of the S is sure is lenient on the limits. Yeah, and you know, normally, Jonathan, I have seen if you really overstep that through those S's, that it gives you a slowdown. It looks like these drivers are really close to that limit, but I don't see anyone getting an off track yet, and that's coming up right here, folks, as we're going to watch Carson Rowland right here where they cut that and they can get over onto that cement part of it. That's where that slowdown is, and I haven't seen any drivers get that yet, but man, they are super close to that. Now, as we look, Christian Proctor is going to go down pit lane. So is Ben Lawrence. And it does look like now Carson Rowland is going to go down pit lane. Now, is Miles or is Mark going to follow? No, Mark Szymanczyk is going to stay out. That is a smart move by Mark, because what he's able to do now is put some separation between him and that driver that is there in second position, where maybe if they pit on separate times, they can get a little bit of separation and Mark can start turning some lap time. So, very good decision by, oh, and now I say that, and this driver is going to loop this getting into turn 1. So what was a really smart decision is now going to probably set him back a couple of seconds as he was able to get this Porsche fired back up and headed in the right direction. But man, that is not what Mark wanted to see. And I'm sure we'll get a message by Mark after this as he goes back and watches these, and we caught that in live time. Hickman is still your leader there in the Pro Division. He is putting quite the gap on Ernie Francis now, 2.8 seconds. And that is with damage to that front end. I would assume when this driver comes in and takes this pit, he is going to get that fast repair and get a nice fresh car, which is going to turn even quicker laps. Kurt now is going to be your second place driver. He is going to be 18 seconds behind Ernie. On the AM division, Szymanczyk is going to take your lead there. He has a 50-second gap on Aikman, but now Aikman has already come down and had that pit stop. We only have about 25, 29, like we do not have less than 30 minutes to go here in this race, as I want to try to do quick math. So it's going to be 19 minutes, about 24 minutes to go. All of these drivers here that we're watching are going to have to come down and get another pit stop. And he is going to get his way past Rowan pretty quick. Carson allowing this driver to get around him. Now, Carson is in his own battle. We're going to see how Carson's going to shake out. He come in second in that. Okay, now you have Hickman coming down. Now, I want to stay with Hickman. I want to see what he is going to do here coming down pit lane. I want to see if he's going to take that fast repair. As you can see, all that damage on the front end. Now, folks, if you're just tuning in, what happened here, you know, Christian Proctor with a little bit of a late braking really turned Hickman right into Ernie and created that front end damage that you now see on this car. So we're going to come down, follow him down pit road, see if he gets this repair done. As you can see on the top left-hand side of your screen, that Pro Division and Ernie Francis Jr., he is going to stick out on this track. Now, he did come down pit road when there was a caution, a track-wide caution, so he has a little bit more fuel than the rest of these drivers. But yes, Hickman is going to take that fast repair. And we're going to go back here and see if we can get a hold of Ben Lawrence, because he is in a battle. Ben and Jeff Perchowski are going to start to arm wrestle here over fourth position. Perchowski, one of those things you can... Oh, and he is going to get into the wall pretty heavy there on the left-hand side. Ben Lawrence is going to try to dodge the draft. Not sure if he's seen Jeff get into that wall pretty hard, but he did. Now, this Corvette, I will tell you about Jeff. Jeff gets faster and faster and faster. I've talked to him quite a few times. He does not do a ton of practice before he jumps into these tracks, so you can count on him getting quicker as these races go along. That is exactly what he is doing right now. He is all over the back end of Ben Lawrence. Everyone else out on track is spread out a bit, really over a second for every other driver out here on the track except for these two here. Been in this Jack Daniels BMW. I can really tell you these drivers had the opportunity to change cars one last time before this race. There were not any takers there changing those cars. You can see that Ben Lawrence is your only BMW driver out here in the field and has turned in some fantastic performances in that car. A couple of Corvettes this season. Last season, not a lot of S's. Now it looks like Jeff's going to get loose on the exit of those S's. And that is going to spread this out just a little bit. That BMW glued to this Indy track. Now Ernie is going to get that pit done. That is going to turn this thing over to Kurt. Kurt now leading this race in that Pro Division. Ernie Francis is going to be about 20 seconds behind. Hickman is going to be 9.5 seconds behind Ernie. But I do believe Ernie's going to have to come down and pit. That's going to put Carson back onto the lead lap, but now Kurt is going to start putting some pressure on this driver. When right before Carson went in, it looked like he was a little bit quicker than Kurt. He's going to let Kurt go right on by, not to slow him down. Fantastic job by that driver there. So we can go back and take a look at Aikman. Aikman is your leader in this AM division. I will tell you, we have talked to this driver once already this season, as we only interview those top winners in the Pro and the AM division. We've already talked to this driver. He has really been able to stretch that lead out in the points, putting together great top three finishes almost every single week in this AM division. He is going to be right behind Christian Proctor. I would assume Christian, another driver, getting a full redo on that car. As yes, he did. You can see he had some front end damage. He now has a nice new fresh car. He is currently sitting in that 7th position on the Pro Series. Miles Gilsinger all over the back end of Angel Rodriguez. trying to get by this driver. Angel, an AM driver. Miles, a pro driver. Miles taking a late dive right to the inside, getting this pass done here on Angel. Christian Proctor now is going to be able to get that move done as well. Now this fight is going to be on as Miles, taking a little bit of time getting by Angel in that AM division, is now going to have Christian all over him and on to the right-hand side of him. He is going to get this pass done pretty quickly. Miles is going to cross him back over. What a great move. And then he's going to blink out a little bit, make this an even harder pass. Angel's going to come into the pits. Miles is going to hold on to this, but Christian is right in his draft now. They are going to come down this front stretch. Christian is going to look to the left-hand side, not able to get that done. He's going to make a quick dive to the right. Again, not able to make that move. Side by side, these drivers go. Christian Proctor nailing that turn. Oh, now Miles is going to get those left sides off into the grass, and he's going to slide around that turn, drifting that car. That is going to give enough time and room to Christian Proctor, where he is going to go up now to that 6th position. Miles back now to 7th. Ernie Francis Jr. Kurt Basler is going to have to come down and get that pit stop done. It will turn that lead over to Ernie, but Ernie's going to have to come down and get something done. Now 49 minutes, so we are going to come up on 15 minutes of this race left. Let's see if we can go on board. Let's take a ride along one lap with a random driver. We're going to pick a random driver, and that is going to be Dakota Howard. So as he comes through the start-finish line, let's take a ride on board with Dakota. We're going to go one lap on board here at Indy. As we go on board, I just want to raise your attention there. It does look like Michael Hickman has went purple. That last lap, the fastest lap on the track at a 24:179. So that driver is on a mission to work his way back up to that front spot. Oh, he's going to cross that over and wreck while we are on board with this driver getting off the grass, getting onto the grass just a little bit and off of that track. Man, on board with Dakota, looping that Merc around. He is back on track. This AMG, no harm, no foul. I do not see any damage on that car. He is back on track, turning some laps. He is currently in the 3rd position there in your AM division. Aikman Pollard is still your leader. Mark Samancic is your purple driver with a 24:834. Dakota still out here turning some laps, doing a fantastic job. Nice, clean car. As you can tell just how sketchy it seems like these GT3 tire model is this update. And this is the first race really with an update where we got a good clean look at the the update, what's going to happen to these GT3 cars, how they are driving now. As you can see again, Jonathan, if you're out there, just how close some of these drivers are cutting that S turn right there and how close they are to a slowdown penalty. I have not seen one tonight, but my goodness, they are close. Kurt Basler, still your leader. They're in the Pro Division. This driver at some point is going to have to come in and get a little bit of fuel in the tank. As well as Early, I'm not certain. These drivers had those cautions earlier on in this race. I'm not certain if they can make it the entire way. I do not believe they're going to be able to do that, but they have chosen to stay out. Ernie's turned in some really good lap times. 125 by Kurt that lap. 124.1 by Ernie the lap prior. And now turning in a 124.6 to a 125.3 by Kurt. So he is picking up about 0.8 of a lap on Kurt. But now there's 16 seconds of a gap between these two drivers. And again, we are going to come up here on close to about 10.5 minutes when he's going to cross the start-finish line. So if this driver can hang on for 10.5 minutes, we might have a new winner here in Kurt Basler in your Pro Division. If not, that battle is going to be on between Ernie and Hickman. Let's see what happened to Carson. We show an off track for Carson. Yeah, he's just going to overshoot that turn. A little bit late braking. Yeah, no problem. No problem with Carson. He is right back on the track. Carson in 4th position. Dakota right in front of him there. He's about 5.5 seconds in front of Carson for that 3rd position in the AM division. Now Aikman, it does look like Aikman is pretty handily out in front, 10.5 seconds ahead of Mark Szymanczyk. Mark with another really good run there in 2nd position in that AM division. As it does look like your closest battle right now out on the track. Miles Gilsinger not allowing Christian Proctor to get away. Is taking that Acura and driving this thing forward. You saw Christian with a fantastic move there on the front stretch, getting over to the right-hand side, making that pass on Miles, but Miles is not letting him get away. All right, let's run this thing down for you while we have a minute and some separation. Kurt Basler, he is your leader right now in that Pro Division. Ernie Francis Jr. has cut that lead down to 14.5 seconds. Ernie running 2nd in your Pro Division. Michael Hickman is your 3rd place driver. That car now clean and green on the front end. No damage to speak of. Michael Hickman running in 3rd. In your AM division, Aikman Pollard once again leading this AM division. He is your leader in points. About a 10.2 second now gap to Mark Szymanczyk. Mark is your 2nd place driver. We saw Mark a little bit earlier on in this race before he went in the pits, looped that car around there on the entry of turn 1. He's got this Porsche pointed in the right direction, worked his way back up to 2nd place in the AM division. So a really good job by him. And then Dakota Howard, not too far behind him. We took a ride on board with Dakota, as it does look like that Pro Division driver of Kurt Basler, your leader, is going to look to get around him. But we took a ride on board with Dakota. He looped it as we were on board with it, but it does look like he's got this thing back out. His rhythm is good, and he is steadily in 3rd position. Carson Rowland now about 3.8 seconds behind this driver for 4th. So we'll keep an eye on that battle as we go around. Kurt now still your leader. 57 minutes is in the books. He's going to go to the left-hand side there of Dakota and get this pass done. Now 57 minutes plus on a 65-minute race. Kurt, we've talked about this gentleman several times. He has always been one of the steady drivers that just continues to pour good pressure, good lap times down, lap after lap after lap. Now with a 13.6 second lead in front of Ernie Francis Jr. That lead Ernie has over third position has shrunk just a little from about 9.5 seconds, now down to 7.8. So Hickman is catching Francis, but I don't believe, unless these drivers decide to come in and pit, this might be the way that this thing is going to shake out here in this pro division. A couple of incidents early on in this race caused some track-wide cautions. Some of these drivers coming down, getting service, might be exactly what they need to get a win here at Indy in the USRA series. Let's go back and take a look at Ernie. He is really not around anyone. 12.5 seconds ahead, but behind Dakota, and about 2.2 seconds in front of Carson. So he is kind of in no man's land, just turning lap times. That last lap, a 24.871, is not going to be enough to run that driver down in first at a 25.368. I do want to go on board. Let's go on board with Kurt. I want to see if this driver is trying to save any fuel in this Porsche. I don't hear any clutching or any slowdown. The gearing looks to be about right. We'll see as he gets out here. Kurt does not seem to be on any sort of tire saving strategy. We're going to see what he turns here as a lap time coming across your start finish line. He's going to turn a 125.5, and we'll see Ernie is now coming out. I can definitely go on board with Ernie. Let's take a look and see what Ernie's doing here. Ernie turned a 24.870, so he was able to put about 0.8 of a second on that first place driver. But now we only have, folks, about 4.5 minutes left to go in this race. So if Kurt has that fuel, I just don't think, even at 0.8 of a second, he just doesn't have the time to get this thing done. Michael Hickman there, that last time, turned a 124.259, so that driver certainly has a lot of speed in that third position. Here is the spot. As you can see, Ernie cutting that a little bit short. That's the spot that's going to give you the slowdown that everybody's been toying with, but not hit so far tonight. Oh, Kurt Basler, big change of events. Kurt is now coming down pit road. Kurt now having to come in to get fuel. This is going to change everything. Ernie Francis Jr. now is going to pass Kurt for your first position. Now, does Ernie have the fuel? If he does not, that is going to turn this race over to Hickman. We do know that Ernie come in earlier on in this race to get those repairs done. Now 3 minutes left in this race. It's all going to depend on when he crosses this start-finish line as to if Ernie Francis can get this thing done. Kurt is going to come out now behind Ben Lawrence. Kurt is going to slot himself into that 4th position. And he is going to pour some pressure on to the back end here of Ben Lawrence. Little bit of gap between these two drivers. Can Ernie make it? Where is that fuel strategy at? I'm not certain what he's got in the tank. It's going to come around here to this front stretch. It's going to come off that last turn. He is on the front stretch now. An hour and 3 minutes in, only 2 minutes left. That's going to be 2 laps, folks. That's going to be 2 laps left in this race. Can Ernie Francis Jr. get this thing done? Once again, calamity early on in this race for Ernie Francis Jr. battling his way back. To take this lead over with 1.5 minutes to go in this race. Michael Hickman with another fantastic showing. He is going to be in second. Ben Lawrence is going to be your 3rd place driver with a little bit of gap there to about a 1.5 seconds to Kurt. On your AMP side, Aikman Pollard, a 12-second gap there to Mark Szymanczyk. So he has this thing firmly under control. Dakota Howard is going to be your 3rd place driver there in the AM division. And here he comes. Let's see what happens to this driver. It is either go down pit road or we are going to make this thing to the end. We are going to be out of time when he's going to cross this start-finish line. As he is still pouring that on, I do not hear him slowing down. He is not going down pit road. Ernie Francis Jr. is going to take this white flag, and he is going to move into 1 lap to go. This thing is going to be over in time. Aikman Pollard is going to come around, and he is going to take this white flag here very, very soon. Man, Ernie Francis Jr. getting a tragedy early on in this race, battling back, keeping his cool, keeping his head about him. Back out front, a 7.5 seconds to Michael Hickman. Michael, again, showing a tremendous amount of speed so far in this race and this season. Ernie having that left rear folded on the inside of that car. Getting the fast repair done, and he looks to be in the catbird seat here. He is going to capture another win. As just a few turns left for this Porsche driver. New tire model, new GT3 update. Ernie Francis Jr., same old story in this Porsche, bringing this thing around here to the front stretch. Race number 5, and here he is, Ernie Francis Jr., flashing those headlights saying, here I am, just another win here at Indy. Congratulations for that driver. Michael Hickman is going to come home second. Nice job by him. And Ben Lawrence is going to find himself in 3rd position. And here he comes out here onto the front stretch. This driver crossing the start-finish line, 3rd position. For that driver, fantastic job there by Ben Lawrence. Aikman Pollard, all he's got to do is coast this puppy home. 11.8 seconds ahead of Mark Szymanczyk. Here he comes, Aikman Pollard, yet again capturing another win there in the AM division, flashing those headlights. Congratulations, Aikman Pollard. And here comes Mark Szymanczyk. He is going to finish in 2nd position in your AM division. And not without tragedy, Dakota Howard with a great run tonight. He is going to come home third in your AM division. Congratulations, Dakota. Nicely done. All right, folks, we're going to hide this thing down because I want to pop up your results, and we are going to start with your pro division. And there you've got it. Ernie Francis Jr. bringing home another win. Michael Hickman is going to be in second. Ben Lawrence in third. Kurt is going to be fourth. Jeff in fifth. Christian in sixth. Miles and then Trevor are going to round out your top 8 there in your pro division. In your AM division, Aikman, Mark, Dakota, Carson, Rory, Zachary, Angel, and Jonathan are going to round out your top 8. All right, what some fantastic drives. I cannot wait to talk to some of these drivers. My goodness, we are going to see if we can get on board with Aikman and with Ernie Francis Jr., your 2 winners here. And it does look like we've got both of them in the chat. So we're going to start back out. Let's see if we can go to Aikman, and let's see if we can get a couple of laps in here and slow this thing down so that we can have a conversation. And we're going to pop up our driver details for this gentleman right here. So let's see if we can bring Aikman up into the broadcast booth. And Aikman, this is John in the booth. You got a copy?
Yes, sir.
Well, man, you're going to put this Tennessee Speed Mustang back in the winner's circle again. First, I guess the big question, Aikman, is, did you do some practice on this update with the GT3? How did this car feel different than what it felt like last week?
And yeah, we ran 2, thanks to Miles and Trevor. They always make sure we get plenty of practice for the league race. So they threw one up the last couple of days, and we ran some laps. And man, it's honestly, it's completely different, but it doesn't feel different, if that makes any sense from like a driver's perspective. I guess as you saw, the restarts and the initial green flag on cold tires is just brutal. So it's going to be a big learning curve as far as, the tires coming in with some heat in them. It takes a good, and for me being slow like I am, it takes a good 5 to 6 laps for them to come into where I'm comfortable actually pushing the car. So I think it's going to be a big learning curve. I hope the viewers and everybody tonight don't get discouraged by the race. I know we had some crazy stuff happen there at the beginning, but we're still learning. So it's just going to be a learning curve, man.
Well, I will tell you, we had a ton of fireworks, and I can tell you this: some of the viewers really appreciate those fireworks, and it will be not only for you, but the Oval had a big update too. So there's going to be another side of that, and you said it perfectly. That is a learning curve for everyone, and then once everybody gets settled down and used to how these things drive, you're going to see a lot of drivers coming forward. But you're going to bring home another victory here at Indy, and that is going to extend your lead there in this AM division. So fantastic season so far, and we're going to really cross this halfway mark tonight. So if you want to, Aikman, let's just look back a little bit, and kind of give your thoughts on how the first half of this season has went here at USRA, and what we can look forward to here for this second half.
And for me, it's been incredible. Well, coming into this league, I thought I would be a back marker even in the amateur class. So I am thrilled by my performance. It's a whole lot more pressure than I would like. I can tell you that. I'm not used to, winning races and being in points battles and points leads and all that stuff. So it's definitely a lot more stressful than just, coming out and running for fun. So I'm trying to handle that, trying to get better in the car. I'm still pretty new to road racing. I've got a great group that helps me out. We got Ernie. He's got real life experience. He's a professional race car driver. He helps us out a ton. My boy Carson, Marsh, Christian Proctor, all the dudes from this league. Dude, it's amazing. These guys are cool. Everybody's pretty respectful. We had a few run-ins tonight. I feel, if Mark's listening, I am so sorry for that first lap incident. I'll have to go back and look and see what happened. But yeah, man, hate to get off subject. But yeah, dude, it's great guys, great league. Little bit of little mix up tonight due to the new tire update, but I think we'll get it straightened out, no problem.
Yes, you will, and congratulations here on picking up another win, Aikman. And I'm going to turn it over to you and give your shout-outs here as you come home with another victory here at Indy and extending that points lead.
Yeah, man. Thanks to you first and foremost. You do a heck of a job. Everybody's excited to, it's awesome to be able to go back and watch. It's a little different, inside the car. So it's awesome to be able to go back and watch it from outside the car. So appreciate you putting this on and sticking with us. Miles, Trevor, Angel, all the guys and the admins and Wade and everybody over here at USRA, they do a fantastic job. They handle everything swiftly and efficiently. So thanks to them. Like I said, Ernie, Christian Proctor, Carson Rowland, Jonathan Marsh, my spotter, Turtle, just all the dudes that help me get in here each week and try to battle for a win.
Well, you definitely did that. And when you did, coming home with the checkered flag in that AM division here at Indy. So congratulations, Aikman. And I'll get you back over here to the waiting room and you can party a little bit.
Thank you, sir.
All right. So there you have it. That is your winner there in the AM division. And that is Aikman. Let's see if we can get over here to Ernie. And we're going to back this up just a few more laps. And as we get ready to talk about what is going on, just checking this out. Robert Altman there in chat saying, check this man's stats. And we might have to do that. Christina saying a great race, but we are not done quite yet. Let's see if we can get a word or two in here with Ernie. And Ernie, this is John here in the booth. You got a copy?
Yep, I got you.
Well, I will tell you, man, this one was not without some fireworks. It looked like Christian, there on that second restart, Christian just a little overshooting there, got in the back of Hickman. Hickman turned into you. That left rear tire, and you can't see it. You can't get out of the car and look at it. But that left rear tire turned completely inward for you, made this thing impossible to drive, had to come down. First of all, take me back through how this update has really affected these GT3 cars, and then talk to me about the race after that. How close were you on fuel here to making this thing to the end?
Yeah, I think first of all with the update, I think it honestly made these cars a lot more realistic to drive. It made them more difficult. The tires start colder. You have to really build up tire temp. It makes it harder to build that tire temp. But the way the car reacts on the brakes, the way the car points into the corner and drives off the front a lot, and really, you can drive it a lot off the front and with the brake pedal to where you can really trail into the corner and get the car to rotate. It's way more like real life. And I think it actually helped suit my driving style a little bit because I always race the sim like I do in real life instead of racing the sim to be fast in the sim. And so I think now that it's closer to real life, it helps what I do. In the sim. So I like it. It's been pretty good so far. Fuel, I actually was pretty good on fuel there. So after I had to pit for the damage to repair the car, I was about 2 laps short of finishing the race. So when everybody else made their routine stop, I came in just for a splash of 2 gallons just to cover me off to get to the end. And it was able to be a short stop. I didn't take tires and was able to jump ahead of the field and just hold that lead pretty much. Just kind of cruised out with that 8-second lead over Hickman there, and worked out. Had plenty of fuel to the end. I had enough fuel to make a whole cool down lap and make it into the pit lane. So, worked out pretty well. That's a 4th win on the year. It's been pretty solid. Trying to get a big points lead because I have to miss the upcoming driver's choice race because I'm going to be in Watkins Glen racing in real life. So, trying to build up all the lead I can.
Well, I will tell you, build that up. You certainly have, and it was a great drive back through. I think you started about 7th in the pro division. Once we went back green, so it was probably about 9th or 10th there on the field, able to drive your way back up. It looks like you guys had a heck of a battle between you, Christian, Hickman. Hickman and Christian had a little bit of front end damage, but that was a great battle between you three, and then Miles was in there as well before all those pit stops happened. But man, you really come home at Indy. You had some adversity, was able to overcome that. And sometimes when you're racing, that's what it's all about, right? Is being able to overcome that adversity. But go ahead.
No, I was gonna say, yeah, you definitely have to overcome that. I always say, you got to leave it at the corner behind you and look forward to the apex ahead of you. And that's all I had to do right there was keep looking forward and get the damage repaired and put down some laps to try to get back to the front. So, proud of that. And then proud of the team with Subpar Motorsports. Another double win with a win in the pro class and a win in the AM class. So really taking it to these guys out here, and proud of all the guys at Subpar. So pretty happy with that.
Yeah, and as we look back, and I and asked Aikman the same thing. As we look back, that we got half of the season under our belts. We're looking forward to the second half of this season. If you want to, just give me a quick, 4 out of 5 tracks as a win is fantastic for you. But give me a look back on the first half of the season and what we can really expect from you and all these drivers here in the second half.
Yeah, I think you can expect more of the same good, hard racing. Sometimes things get a little bit crazy, like you saw in this race today. But I think we're going to put on a show for the rest of the year. I think there's a lot of cool tracks coming up that we race at. This new tire update definitely threw it threw everybody for a loop. It's a lot to get used to now. The cars are a lot different. You could see it on the restarts and on the outlaps after a pit stop how treacherous it is. So, people have to work on it and get used to that. And I think as long as we keep our 98 Porsche up front, I think we'll be all right for the rest of the year.
I think you will be too. Well, congratulations on another win, Ernie. And I'll turn it over to you just in case you did not give a shout out to everybody you needed to. And then we'll look forward to seeing you next week.
Yep. Thank you. Just want to, say again, thanks to my sponsors, me. Thanks to Subpar Motorsports, my team. We're doing a pretty good job this year. I think we've won, I'd say probably 95% of the races this year so far with our team. So pretty solid right there. We're happy with that and looking forward to the next one.
Well, you did a fantastic job. Congratulations again, bringing home another victory here at Indy. Ernie, we'll get you back and let you celebrate with your team.
Yep. Thank you.
So there you have it, folks. Another win for Ernie Francis Jr. and for Aikman Pollard. So a fantastic job by both of these drivers, and that is going to wrap up another dynamic race here at the USRA Series on Thursday nights. We are bringing home a winner here in Ernie Francis Jr. and another winner in Aikman Pollard. Like he said, about 95% of those wins coming to these drivers, but I can tell you this, there is a lot of hungry racers right behind all of these drivers, and they want a win as well. Kurt very close tonight. Michael Hickman, again, showing a ton of speed. Mark Samancic, one of those stalwarts there in the AM division. So you can imagine there's going to be a lot of battles throughout the last 5 races of the season as we look to the second half of the season and the USRA. So appreciate everybody coming out. Make sure that you give us a thumbs up and a like there on the stream here on American Speed Network. Appreciate everyone. We're going to see you next time.